everybody, and welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Friday. A fantastic Friday here in the great state of Wisconsin. I'm sitting here, looking out the window. Weather looks fantastic. I mean, there is nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about right now. The weather's beautiful. Sunny skies out there right now. It's a fantastic day. Fantastic day. And well, we got lots of things happening. Lots of things happening coming out of yesterday. We got a lot of things happening this weekend here in Wisconsin sports. So we got a lot to jump into today. So right away, let's look at the Bucks. Because the Bucks will have that opening game of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Number 3 seeded Milwaukee Bucks taking on the number 6 seed Indiana Pacers. And I saw a couple interesting things coming out of the last regular season game there. And that was, first off, they gave the Bucks a D. They graded the Bucks this season, and they gave them a D. I don't think that's far off. You could give them maybe a C-, you can give them maybe a C, but you can't give them anything above that. This is a team that was destined. They had the makings. They brought in Damian Lillard. Everything was supposed to be fantastic. We were all supposed to buy into it, and it was all going to be great. And then, whatever happened. We had Adrian Griffin. He gets fired. Then we hired Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, even worse than what Adrian Griffin was. And now we head into the playoffs. We're limping into the playoffs right now. Damian Lillard, he's had a groin injury. I believe he just went back to practice this week here. And then, Giannis, they're talking 3 to 4 weeks of Giannis being out now. 3 to 4 weeks of no Giannis. So that's, Eastern Conference Finals, possibly finals if you make it there. Otherwise, we will not see Giannis again. So now it's going to rely on what can Damian Lillard do by himself. Because we haven't seen Dame play fantastic, really, for a stretch of games yet this year. We haven't seen it. And if you want to tell me that we have, you're fooling yourself. You're thinking outside the box, and I'm glad that you're able to do that and you're able to see the bright side of things. But in all reality, the guy that we saw in Portland, the guy that the Bucks thought they were getting, we haven't seen him yet. We have not seen him yet for a stretch of games. We've seen him for sparks, for spurts, for a game here and a game there. But this is playoff basketball now. This is playoff basketball. No Giannis. He's Middleton this year. And Brooks Brook. You got Bobby. You got Bobby to back you up. What are you going to be able to do? That's what we're going to find out. Because right now, I don't think the Bucks are far off of that D range, the D to the C- range for grading this season. If you really look at the grand scheme of things, 49-33. 49-33. This is a team that started out, they were 30-some and 14 at one point? This is a team that started out very well and just fell off a cliff. It was a roller coaster. This team's a roller coaster to watch. A roller coaster every game is a roller coaster. You start out hot, and then all of a sudden, bam, gone. And then you might pick it up a little bit, but then bam, done again. This series right here, it may be, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of things about blowing this thing up. I was just talking to one of my good buddies from Integrity Sports Network over there, do a baseball podcast with him. He's a big Celtics fan. And he's talking to me, and he goes, this is the trouble that the Bucks put themselves into. And I said, well, yeah, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he goes, well, when you got Giannis running the team, and Giannis is going to tell you what he thinks is best, this is what you get. This is what you get. Because now, in hindsight, we would all say to ourselves, this team was a lot better with Drew and Middleton and Giannis. This team was actually a lot better with Budenholzer running the show. So this team was better at that point, yet now we had this superstar talented Dame, and it's not working. What's going on? And, I was like, yeah, I guess I never thought about it in that light, to say that Giannis is making decisions that aren't really benefiting this team. And, I get it. you got to let your superstar make his decisions. And the Bucks did what they had to do to keep Giannis around. I'm not saying that they did wrong. Yeah, I'm not blaming Horst. I'm not blaming Horst in this. But what I'm saying is you went out, you got the pieces that Giannis wanted, you kept the things that Giannis wanted, and it's not working. This was a team that, when you looked at the Vegas odds or whatever to start the year, I mean, that's where everybody goes to. The odds to win the championship or be in the championship, the Bucks were right there with the Nuggets. Were the Celtics around there? Yeah, sure they were. But the Bucks were ahead of them. This was a team that was supposed to be that top dog. They haven't played like a top dog. Nobody's scared of the Bucks. That's the biggest thing. Teams are scared of the Celtics. I think teams are honestly scared of the 76ers. And they are scared of the Heat. They don't want to face the Heat. When you look at this Bucks team, tell me teams are scared of them. Tell me what team is scared of the Bucks. I would be amazed to hear it. And I'd be amazed to see the team and actually hear it from them that they actually worry about playing this Bucks team, because I haven't seen it. When you go against teams who you're a little worried about them, you're worried, you tense up. Things don't run as crisp. And they're able to do a little bit more against you. Nobody thinks that about Milwaukee right now. They're in a prove-it time. It's surprising because you have a lot of talent, but they're in a prove-it period right now, where they have to prove they are a top team. Otherwise, is Stephen A. Smith really that far off when he says to get Dame out of here? Is he really that far off? I don't know. The Bucks are right on the verge of being in the Warriors situation, where the Warriors right now, they're in a decision time whether to bring back Klay Thompson and Draymond. And they're going to, I mean, we all know they're going to bring Steph Curry in, and they're going to say, Steph, what do you want? What do you want to do? You want to run it back? You want to go out and try to build new? What do you want to do? That's where the Bucks are at. The Bucks are at that same exact spot right now. They went to the championship. They've tried to get back there. It's failed. They brought in Dame to try to fix all the offensive problems. They made more defensive problems. They made more effort problems, chemistry problems. So now they're in the same situation. What do you want to do? Giannis, what do you want to do? You want to blow this baby up? You want to bring back new? You want to see what we can do in free agency, through the draft? Get some of these young guys incorporated into this? Make a massive trade? Like, what do you want to do? That's what has to happen. And if he says to run it back and it doesn't work, well, then maybe we have to stop trusting Giannis to make our decisions. I get it 1,000%. Sometimes when you have a superstar on your team, they are in the room with you making decisions. I get that. I'm not saying that they are doing something completely out of the box of what other teams do. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that at some point, somebody has too much control and they're not making the right decisions. Is this one of those situations right now in Milwaukee? Are we getting bad decisions because Horst isn't really making them? Because ownership, head coaching doesn't really have a say. We're all trusting Giannis to build us a team. What he wants. What's going to make him happy? Have we seen it? Have we seen this guy fully get to his... we've reached... I really do think we've reached Giannis' ceiling of what we're going to get out of Giannis. I really do. I don't think there's much on the backside, right? He's a superstar athlete. Great finisher. He can get to the rim. Not a good shooter. We've seen the peak of Giannis. So now you're in the peak of your career, and we're not wasting it to the sense of we're wasting you. We might be wasting it because you're making the decisions. Is he getting a big head? That's what I wonder. Is he getting a big head in Milwaukee right now? You know, LeBron going to the Cavs, telling them, I need this, I need this, I need this. They get all those guys, and then he leaves. Is that kind of where this Bucks team is at right now? In that same situation? Is Giannis getting bigger than Milwaukee? Because if he is, either he's got to... That's exactly how I said that to that guy, to Kyle there from Chopping on the Bit podcast, where you can find him. And I was talking to him, and That's exactly what I said to him. I said, is he too big? Is he too big for Milwaukee at this point? And if he gets too big, what do you do? And he said, he doesn't. I mean, he's like, I get it. You don't know what to do because you got to keep your star happy, but at the same time, you still have to build a roster. You still have to be able to put pieces around him that make sense. This roster makes sense, but I mean, you look at the pieces they lost last year: Grayson Allen, Drew Holiday. I don't know if you count Joe Ingles in there, but some big. Look at what Grayson Allen's doing with the Suns. Now that benefits a lot from having guys like KD and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal on the team. I'm not going to say that he's just doing it all by himself, but the guy's shooting fantastic and he's a good defender. Drew Holiday. Both those guys just received not max contracts, but contracts from their respective teams, the Celtics and the Suns. So, I don't know. Just some of the thoughts that I've been having with the Bucks as of late here, hearing a lot of people talk and what to do moving forward. Because right now, I just don't get it. Right now, I'm lost with the Bucks. And I don't know what they're going to do moving forward. But if this is another first round exit, they have to figure out something. Now, it's not yet. You're going to say, okay, Giannis is out. It's not helping. It's not helping. It's not. But if Giannis was there, and the Bucks lose this series, then what? If the Bucks get completely blown out in this series, just blown out, swept off their feet, would Giannis being there really change the game? Because they had Giannis when they played the Pacers this year, and the Pacers beat them. They just beat them outright. So, I don't know. I don't know. I've been pondering the Bucks as of late here, and I don't know what to think about them right now. So, I mean, they got this weekend, this next week is going to be massive for Milwaukee. How can they prove to Bucks fans, to NBA fans, to NBA analysts, everything in between, that everything is good in Milwaukee and they have the makings to be able to put on a run? How can they do that? Well, you got the Pacers here, 6 o'clock on Sunday. That's the start. You have the first game at the Pfizer. You got to be able to pull this one off. Your favorite in this game, ESPN actually has the Bucks favored 57% right now to 42%. So they have the Bucks favored in this ball game here. So you go in with that mindset that, hey, we aren't favored here. We aren't better than the Pacers. They are on our level, and we have to play our best basketball of the year to be able to win this game. That's the mindset the Bucks have to go into in this game here. They are not the best team in the East. They are not even top 3 in the East. Maybe not even top 4. They have to figure it out. They do not have a target on their back. They have to hit the target on these other teams' backs. Because right now, if you ask a lot of NBA analysts, fans, they got the Pacers making it out of this series. They do. They don't think the Bucks have what it takes to get past them, especially with no Giannis. So what does Dame show us in this series here? What does Dame show us in this series to say, Giannis might be out, but I'm a superstar. I'm a superstar, and I can carry this team. Because if Dame proves that to us, when Giannis comes back, and if it just starts rolling like that, then we see the team that we've been waiting for. And everybody told me, and I quote, just wait until the playoffs. Just wait until the playoffs. This is a playoff basketball team. They're built for the playoffs. Okay, they're built for the playoffs. It's right now. It's right now where they have to show us something. They have to show us that this is a playoff basketball team who wasn't as bad as what they looked like in the regular season. When they can show us that, okay. Everybody who has said anything wrong, I will write my apology if the Bucks play some great basketball here in the playoffs. If they play great basketball, they go 7 games and they lose this just because the Pacers are hot, so be it. That happens. If they go into this series here and they play defense like we've seen as of late here, they give effort like we've seen as of late here, and the offense just looks atrocious, then that's different. That's a different story. then it's like, okay, what excuse do you want to make? What excuse do you want to make now? That's the point that I don't want to get to. So Bucks, Pacers, coming up this weekend, 6 o'clock start there for that one on Sunday on TNT from the Pfizer. I mean, this is a massive game one for the Bucks. Massive game one. They got to get game one. They do. They have to win game one here at home because they have to set the tone of this series. That they are just fine. There's nothing to worry about, and this team is going to roll. That's what they have to prove here in game one of the series, because otherwise it's going to get tough. It'll get tough down the stretch if they cannot figure it out game one there. So with that, I mean, Bucks, like I said, Bucks Pacers Sunday, 6 o'clock start for that one. Should be a good one. But with that, I want to mention a couple of the sponsors of our show here quick before we move on. First, Game Day Supply in on Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Marshfield Motor Speedway is located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Stop down there this weekend. Tomorrow, they will have their Spring Eve of Destruction. Sounds like it's going to be a fantastic day at the track. I'm hoping I can make it down there. I'm hoping I see some of you guys down there at the track there, because it sounds like it's going to be a great opening weekend at Marshfield Motor Speedway. So get down there. Great family fun, great food, great drinks, great everything down there at the track. So Marshfield Motor Speedway is located there in Marshfield, Wisconsin. But with that, we got to talk Badgers. We got to talk Badgers today, because now it got to the point that I didn't think it was going to get to. And that is simply going into this offseason. I said to myself, I know we're losing Tyler Wall. I figure AJ Storr will probably walk out the door. And Connor Essegian, I figured he was gone. I got those three. I understood those three. Now, as of yesterday, the Badgers have lost, I believe, 7 guys to the transfer portal. One of them now being Chucky Hepburn. Now, you might say to me, oh, Trage, come on. Like, it's Chucky. We don't care. It's Chucky. A lot of people said that. I mean, I got a lot of comments. I posted it yesterday out there, announced the news that Chucky was leaving Madison there, and a lot of the comments, good, okay. One guy said so he's now able to go to other teams. I don't know what to tell you. So, like, whatever. I get it. You want to hate Chucky Hepburn, you hate Chucky Hepburn all you want. I get it. You want to hate him, hate him. But this is a guy that, if, you know, the NCAA, there's no Tyler Walls anymore, right? There's no 5-year guys, 6-year guys, whatever. There's none of those guys anymore. You're going to find them, but they're far and few between. The NCAA, especially in men's college basketball right now, as we're seeing, and I mean, it's in all college sports. It's not just in men's college basketball, but it's in all of college sports. But I mean, we're seeing a lot in college basketball right now. Loyalty is not a thing. There is no loyalty to a university. Look at AJ Storr. The dude's been to, I mean, what, freaking 8 schools? High school, he's transferred 4 times, and now in college, he's transferred 3 times. He's transferred he's at St. John's, transferred to Wisconsin. Now he's transferring out of Wisconsin to go to Kansas. So we've seen this guy transfer. I mean, it's ridiculous. So loyalty is not a thing anymore. But there was one thing that I said, and I was talking, I believe it was to my uncle. I was talking to a family member there, and we were talking about the Badgers kind of as a whole. And when AJ Storr announced his transfer decision, or he was going to transfer, and same with Connor Essegian. And then we had Gus Yeldon and all that. And I said to him point blank, I said, because we were talking about, is there a locker room problem in Madison? And I said, you know what? I'm not going to think there's a locker room problem until Chucky heads out the door. And if Chucky heads out the door, then I'm going to think there's a problem. Chucky headed out the door. Now, it's a money decision, right? That's what we're going to get. It's a money decision. He's going to make more money somewhere else. I get that. I 100% understand that. I get that. He wants to maximize his likeness, right? Okay, that's fine. And you can't blame a guy for doing that. You can't, because everybody else is doing it. You can't just shoot down Chucky now. You can't, because everybody else in college basketball is doing it. If you want to blame Chucky, then blame everyone. Blame the NCAA. First off, you want to blame anybody for this fiasco? Blame the NCAA. Because now they made this new rule where you can become eligible wherever you go, as long as your academics are good, everything. You can be eligible wherever you go right away, all the time. You're just making it easier for guys to just quit. For guys to just say, I'm not getting what I want here, and I'm not getting the playing time, and I'm not going to work for it. I'm just going to go here because he's telling me that I could start right away. You've opened up, if you are the NCAA, you've opened up a can of worms that you can't close. You can't close the door anymore. We talked about this a while back. Instead of just cracking the dam and letting some of the water flow out so you didn't flood the town, you just completely opened it up. You blew it up. Blew the whole thing up. Gone. Done. The dam's gone. Water has flooded everything. Flooded every university out there, and now they're playing this game of what do we got? What do we got left when the season starts? Right now, the Badgers are down to 2 starters left on this team. Stephen Crowell and Max Klesman. That's it. They have 2 starters back from last year. They have John Blackwell coming back. And outside of that, Carter Gilmore. You have Gilmore coming back. Nolan Winter. You don't have much. You've lost a majority of that team. And some people are going to, there's a lot of the people out there, and, whatever. You think what you think. But Chucky Hepburn's a big loss to the Badgers. This is a 3-year starter. This is a guy who is giving nothing but love and praise to the Badgers, to Greg Gard, to the coaching staff, to his teammates, everything in between. And now he just says, see ya. I'm done. Which makes me think that Frankie Fiddler, I'm pretty sure it's Frankie Fiddler, is that guy's name from Omaha. It really makes me think that Frankie ain't coming. Because why would Frankie come to Madison if Chucky's gone? Why would Chucky leave Madison if Frankie was coming, right? Because, Chucky was the biggest guy in on let's get Frankie Fiddler coming to the Badgers. And now Michigan State might be the top team to get Frankie. And AJ Hoggard is now leaving Michigan State. Does Tom Izzo call Chucky and say, hey, Chucky, I've watched you play a little bit at Madison, over the years here, and I'm losing a guard. I'm losing a guard in AJ Hoggard. You want to hop skip over here to Michigan? You want to come on over to East Lansing, see the Breslin Center? Play for me a little bit here? I mean, Frankie's coming. Why don't you come? It sucks to see because we're talking about Chucky. Does he stay in the Big Ten? Same with Connor Essegian. Does he go to Maryland? Is he at Maryland? Does he go to Michigan? Does he stay in the Big Ten? I don't know. But right now, the Badgers are in a mess. Because, and there's a lot of time left, right? They're going to get transfers in. I'm not saying that they're not going to be able to field the starting 5 next year. They'll field the starting 5. How's it going to look, though? Yeah, you have Daniel Freitag coming in. Great. But how many teams these days, we're talking about a team that we want to see the Badgers in the second weekend, right? That's our goal. We don't care about Elite 8. We don't care about Final Four. Yeah, would it be fantastic to get there? 100%. But that's not our biggest worry. What we're saying to ourselves is, Can we see the Badgers make it to the second weekend with freshmen, with young guys? Because look at the teams that made it there last year. Were there a lot of young? I mean, look at Kentucky. Kentucky couldn't do it. John Calipari left because he doesn't know how to do it anymore. He's got to get transfers coming now. He's got to change his ways. Same with Tom Izzo in Michigan State. He's got to change his ways. He's got to start going out to the transfer portal and adding guys. It's hard to win with young talent. You had an experienced roster coming back there in Madison. Whether A.J. Storr was there or not, you had experience. Max, Chucky, Steven Crowell. Now Chucky's gone. Now you have to deal with that. You lost one of your better defenders. You lost your leader. And you lost your ball handler, your point guard. He's gone. Out the door. So what do? How do you come back from this? You have to add in the transfer portal now. You have to hit it harder than you have ever hit it before in your life. Because the way that it's going right now, you will not win ball games in the Big Ten, in college basketball, if you try to go with an all-freshman lineup. You won't. You might spring one out here and there, but unless these guys are coming in built like a brick shithouse, and they're just top-of-the-line athletes coming in who are just ready to rock, and it's very far and few between that you get guys like that. I mean, you're talking Zion Williamson, you're talking R.J. Barrett's, you're talking Cam Reddish's, and those guys couldn't even get it done. UConn is built off of transfers, and they've gotten it done 2 years in a row. Gonzaga, same thing. They're building teams through the transfer portal. That's the way it's got to be. So now you reached a point where now you have to hit this transfer portal harder than you ever have. But now you're at the point where Greg Gard tells us we got 3 times the amount of NIL money that we've had. We've raised the boatload. Okay, spend it. You got to spend it. Because you just lost your top scorer, your top point guard, your power forward guy in Tyler Wall, who was a main cog in the offense, and Connor Season. Gone. Did he play a lot last year? No. But that was still a threat. That was still a threat off the bench. Team's still worried about Connor Season. As much as we don't want to believe it, that Connor Season is actually a good shooter, he's a phenomenal shooter. The Badgers have a lot to replace now. Can they do it? I don't know. I think they can, but what comes in? Is it going to be a good, like a Frankie Fiddler? Or is it going to be some random guy from, who knows, UNLV? Just some random guy. Who's it going to be? You know, are you going to be able to bring in some high-end talent on the transfer portal? Or is it going to be a year where we watch Wisconsin basketball and we say to ourselves, this ain't it. This ain't it. We're far off. I don't know. That took me by surprise. I'll be honest with you. The news that A.J. Storr transferring to Kansas yesterday, I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'm over it. I'm over it. You go wherever you want. The most unloyal dude I have ever met in my entire life is A.J. Storr. If I was a woman, I'd avoid that guy because there's a good chance after a year he's moving on to the next one, just like we've seen throughout his career. So he came out and he thanked Badger Nation and everything like that. And the same thing on, everybody says A.J. Storr's transferring from Wisconsin to Kansas. He was never a Badger. I'll be honest with you. He was never a Badger. The dude was just here. The dude was here as a pit stop on his way to the next. That's all that he does. So that one didn't bother me. But the news that surprised me the most was the news of Chucky Hepburn transferring out of Wisconsin and heading off. That one surprised me a lot. I did not see it coming. Really didn't. The last guy, outside of probably Klesman and Steven Crowell, that I expected to see gone, is now on his way out the door in Madison. So definitely some interesting stuff there in Wisconsin basketball. And hopefully we hear some good news. Hopefully we hear some good news coming out of Madison here pretty soon. But with that, I want to get to a couple more of our sponsors here quick before we get into the Brewers weekend series preview. First Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it was at work, whether it was on the basketball court, the baseball field, the softball field, whatever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. He will get you right. He'll get you back to work, back on the court, back on the field, whatever it is. He'll get you back there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. And sports scene, sports cards, and memorabilia. Stop in there in the Marshall Mall and see Al. He has everything you need, from sporting cards to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin. And also Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. With that, though, I want to talk a little Brewers here. Brewers have a big weekend set coming up with the Cardinals here. They will be heading to St. Louis for that series and should be a fantastic one. Kind of a measuring stick to see where the Cardinals are at, where the Brewers are at. We want to see that. That's something that you want to see every single year, and we're going to see it here coming up this weekend. So Brewers, Friday tonight here, 7:15 start for that one. Freddie Peralta will be taking on Kyle Gibson for the Cardinals. Cardinals, coming to this one, they're 9-10 on this young season so far. Not playing terrible baseball, right? But not playing fantastic yet. They're still trying to get everything going in that right. Looking at some of their previous series that the Cardinals have had, they lost the final game there to the Oakland A's. Before that, they lost 2 of 3 to Arizona. They lost 2 of 3 to the Phillies there. They won the series versus the Miami Marlins, won the series versus the Padres, lost the series to the Dodgers before that. So, I mean, they've played some decent baseball to start the year, but nothing crazy by any standard there. So, coming into this one, you want to look at the stats. The stats of this team here, and Wynn's the guy to watch out for right now with him. He's batting .347. Arenado's sitting .299. Brendan Donovan's 235. Nolan Gorman, he's at .191. And then Paul Goldschmidt's sitting .182 right now for this team. So a lot of decent hitting going on for the Cardinals, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy so far for this Cardinals team. So looking at the matchup here between Freddie Peralta and this Cardinals lineup, they've seen each other. They know what the next guy's got. Wilson Contreras, he's faced him 21 times, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Arenado's faced him 25 times, 10 RBIs, 4 home runs. He's batting .360 against him there. Paul Goldschmidt, in 24 at-bats, he's got 7 RBIs and 2 home runs against him there. So, I mean, they've had some experience against Freddie Peralta there. Jordan Walker's actually batting .400 against him there, 5 at-bats, 1 RBI there. So they've had some experience against Freddie. I mean, NL Central rivals. These are guys who have played for the Cardinals for a couple years now. So they've seen Freddie. Freddie knows their lineup. They know Freddie. Should be a good matchup there. But looking at the flip side of it for the Brewers, going up against Kyle Gibson in this one. Adames, he's batting .429 against Gibson. 7 at-bats, 1 RBI, 1 home run. Bowers, he's batting .400 against him in 10 at-bats. Contreras, in 11 at-bats. No success against Kyle Gibson. So if he wants to keep that hitting streak alive, he's got to do something here in this one. Gary Sanchez, .273 against him, 11 at-bats. He's had 2 RBIs and 2 home runs. And then Bryce Terang, a .500 average there and 2 at-bats against Kyle Gibson. Gibson coming in this one 1-2 with a 6.16 ERA in this one. Freddie coming in here 2-0 with a 2.55 ERA on this young season. So good stuff there. That'll be tonight here, 7:15 start for that one. That'll be on, I believe, just want to double check. It'll be on Bally Sports Wisconsin. It'll be on WTMJ 620. Wherever your Brewers radio network is, it'll be on there. So make sure you're checking out the Brewers tonight here. 7:15 start there from St. Louis. Coming up on Saturday, that'll be a 1:15 start for that one. We got DL Hall. He's taking on Miles Michaelis in that one there. DL coming in this one 0-1 with a 7.11 ERA. Looking for a good outing out of DL Hall here. I mean, he's had a little bit of struggles here to start this young season. Hopefully see a good outing out of him in this one. Miles Michaelis, he's in the same boat. 1-2 with a 5.82 ERA to start the year. Miles Michaelis has been roughed up a little bit. So should be a good matchup here for the Brewers against Michaelis. Not a ton of success against D.L. Hall. Burleson, he's batting 1,000 against him in 2 at-bats with an RBI. Outside of that, Nootbaar, Walker, and Wynn have all faced Hall, but with no success against him there in the little bit they've seen him. Looking at the Brewers against Michaelis, they've seen him a little bit here. Adames, 20 at-bats. He's got a 300 average. William Contreras there, 6 at-bats. He's got a 500 average against him there. Frelick, 6 at-bats, 1 RBI, 333. Hoskins, 8 at-bats, 2 RBIs, 1 home run. He's batting 250 against him there. So Brewers have seen Michaelis. They've had some success, so should be another good one coming up on Saturday there. And then in the Sunday slate, we got this little Sunday afternoon baseball there. This should be a fantastic starting pitching matchup. 115's for start for this one here. Colin Ray taking on Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray 2-0 with a 0 ERA on the season so far, 11 strikeouts. Sonny Gray has pitched fantastic to start the year. So can the Brewers get to him in this one? Cardinals, they've seen a little bit of Colin Ray. Arenado, he's had the most experience outside of Goldschmidt there, 6 at-bats. He's got nothing to show for it. Goldschmidt, 6 at-bats. He's batting 333. And then you have Wynn and Walker. Wynn's batting 333 against him in 3 at-bats there. And Walker in 2 at-bats. He's got nothing to show for it there. So a little bit of success there for the Cardinals going up against Colin Ray. For the Brewers, the Brewers have seen Sonny Gray. And, well, Adames is playing very well against Sonny Gray. 571 is his average. 7 at-bats, 2 RBIs, a home run there for Adames. Bowers, 250, 4 at-bats, 1 RBI there. And then you have Rhys Hoskins in 9 at-bats. He's got 4 RBIs and a 333 average there against Sonny Gray. So all those games will be on Bally Sports Wisconsin. You can catch them on WTMJ 620. You can get all the games there over this weekend here. So tonight, 7:15 start. Outside of that, Saturday and Sunday will be 1:15 starts for those ones. So with that, that's about all I got for today. We talked about a lot. Bucks Pacers coming up this Sunday. We need a Bucks win. I want to be talking about a Bucks win on Monday there on the show. So we got Bucks Pacers coming up this weekend. We have, if you're not busy, we have the Indoor Football League. We will, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Green Bay Blizzard will be in action over this upcoming weekend here. They will be taking on this, I believe that's tonight. Yeah, tonight here. They will be taking on the Sox Falls Storm. So make sure you're checking that out. Just search Green Bay Blizzard on YouTube, and you can watch the Indoor Football League there. We also have Brewer Baseball. You got to be watching the Brewers. 7:15 start for that one there. Brewers, Cardinals. I hate the Cardinals. I want to be talking about a Brewers series sweep coming back on Monday. So with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. I hope you guys enjoy this great weekend here in the great state of Wisconsin and get yourself watching some of these games. If you're not heading to the ballparks, to the arenas, whatever it is, if you're not heading there, make sure you're checking them out on TV there. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys back here on Monday. But until then, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.